Wrong time could spell doom for the blue-black control player. And Ethan just untaps and passes the turn. Awarded foothills from David Black. He's going to crack that, drop himself down to 16. Fetch up a mountain. Let's see if he has a good turn here. I'm not sure how big his curve is. There's a Foundry Street, Denison. And that card in the top right corner is a break through the line. That's a red target creature with power 2 or less gains haste until end of turn and can't be blocked this end of turn. And there is the Stoke the Flame from David after Ethan tapped out, and that is a quick game 1 for the Goblins player. Ethan Morgan to 6. Missing a turn 3 play, really put him on the back foot, and double anguish was just not enough to hold off the burn left over in David's hand. And we'll see what Ethan brings in. I don't have deck lists, so I'm assuming there's some sort of Drown in Sorrows. I didn't see any Silumgar Scorn or anything like that, so I don't see any Dragon cards coming in. David is a brewer, so he could have anything in his sideboard. But we'll find out shortly. So David Black is up a game against blue-black control, and now is where blue-black control really shines, is in these post-board game against these aggressive red decks. So we'll see what Ethan can do to stem this bleeding and maybe bring it to a draw. And potentially win this match. In Standard, we do have 3 rounds, 8 players. In Modern, we have 23 players, 5 rounds. So we're going to get you some Standard coverage here. After that, I'm not really 100% sure. We'll find out, though. Maybe some Modern coverage. There's a player shuffle up here. On to Game 2. It will be interesting to see how Goblin Pile Driver interacts with these blue decks. When Goblin Pile Driver was first in Standard, it was printed as an answer to Psychotog, which was the premier controlled deck at the time, and it was printed so that the tribal aggro decks, premier deck at the time was Goblins next to Affinity, so that it could have some game against the blue Psychotog Menace. We'll see, because there aren't a lot of blue cards that Ethan has that interacts with the board presence of David. Most of his removal effects are black. It could come up against a creature of Ethan's, but nonetheless, a turn 2 Power Driver, turn 3 Rabble Master hits hard, and we'll see if Ethan can stem that bleeding if David gets that kind of draw. Players are shuffling up here. I'm assuming Ethan's going to be on the play. Yeah, getting access to turn 3 Drown in Sorrow, turn 4 Languish, if that's the kind of route Ethan decides to go, is a pretty big upgrade for these blue-black control decks. David is not happy with his hand. Looks like Ethan is going to keep his 7. David's shipping a black for that 6. Alright, let's see if he finds what he needs. Let's see if I can make out any of the cards. I see 2 mountain, so that's a good start. We'll see if he's happy with it, though, and he is. Ethan Carlton goes up to 21 off his Enter the Battlefield tap land. And David has a mountain pass, and that is not where you want to be if you're a hyper-aggressive deck against the blue-black control. Ethan going to go up to 22 off another Enter the Battlefield tap land. Yeah, we do use OBS. That's a turn 2 pile driver from David Black. Let's see what it can do by itself. That's an Evolving Wild from Ethan. Let's see if David does have the Rabble Master playing, if Ethan has an answer for it. I see a negate, it looks like, in Ethan's hand. Ethan just takes 1 down to 21, and David is going to tap 2 mana and play a Dragon Fodder, so he's going to get 2 goblins off that. Ethan allows it to resolve. And Bile Blight's going to take care of the goblin tokens. And Ethan cracks that Evolving Wilds to get his 3rd land, which is an island, so Ethan is all set up on black sources, at least he feels that way. We'll see what his turn 4 consists of. I seen a Dissolve and a Negate, and there's the island draw for the turn. Looks like he has a Swamp in his hand too, so we'll see where this goes. Ethan may be content to just take 1 and try to deal with David Black's cards as he's playing. David is taxed on mana right now, missing his turn 3 land. Yeah. David attacks for 1 with a pile driver again, dropping Ethan back to his normal life total of 20. Taps 2 mana, looks like another Dragon Fodder. So yep, David's going to get 2 more goblins, put them into play, and again misses a land drop. So this is not looking good for David Black. This is not where you want to be against a blue-black control deck if you're the red deck. So Ethan plays a Temple of Silence and Scries and passes the turn. David untaps, attacks, triggers the pile driver. This is going to be a decent amount of damage if it resolves. That's 5 damage from the pile driver by itself, which is 7 damage. And it looks like it's going to happen. That's going to drop Ethan to 13. That is a big swing from the red deck. That's the kind of turns that David needs. We'll see if you can capitalize it with a 3rd land and maybe a Hordling Outburst or something. I'm not sure what you want to play in the red deck spot right here. Yeah, he just passes the turn. Ethan plays a Swamp for the turn. Let's see if Ethan does have a way to deal with this board. I'm trying to get a good look at his hand, and I think I just see a bunch of blue cards, which isn't good for controlling the board presence already. I think maybe a Hero's Downfall on top. He's keeping them pretty close to the chest, so I can't even see. But we'll find out here shortly, I'm sure. So David Black plays a Wooded Foothills and cracks it, dropping himself down to 19. That's his first damage of the game. gets a forest and plays it looks like a heel cutter. And I'm assuming that's dashed. So we'll see what Ethan wants to do with that. He's going to play the dissolve. So Ethan's going to counter that and scry one. He's going to keep it on top. Likes what he saw. And Ethan does have the hero's downfall for the triggered pile driver. I'm sorry. So he's only going to take 2 here, which is a pretty good turn for Ethan. You can't be too upset with how that turn played out. He drops to 11. Untap plays another land. Looks like he has 4 cards in hand. Picked up another dissolve. Let's see if David can get anything going here now that he has his 3rd land. A 4th would be nice. I don't think I see it though. I don't think that's what he picked up. Yeah, it looks like a Swift Spear coming from David Black's side of the table. And he's going to send the team in. Let's see if Ethan has anything for this 3 damage coming at him. And there is the Leviathan from Ethan. So I'm sure that's going to eat up the Monastery Swift Spear, assuming David doesn't have anything he can do to deal with it. But for red and green, I'm not sure what that could be. It's become immense. He exiled cards from his graveyard for the Delve and cast a Become Immense, triggering Prowess and giving his Monastery Swift Spear. Oh no, he targeted a Goblin. So the Goblin's going to get +6. The Monastery Swift Spear triggers, but it doesn't actually do anything relevant to the Leviathan. So he's going to take 6, 7, 8 damage from the Goblin deck. And that is an impressive turn from David Black. So that's going to drop Ethan to 3. And David Black has a Foundry Street Denizen for the main phase 2 and just passes the turn. There's a Drowning Star. He's going to take care of the board and scry. It looks like just a passing of the turn from Ethan, so definitely not worth attacking into David's cards. You never know when you might need a blocker for another Monastery Swift Spear. That isn't a Tarkus command from David Black. Let's see if he has an answer.